Okay, now we're going to talk about grammar, and we're going to go over pages 4.1 to 4.17. Actually, we're not going to do 4.16 and 4.17. That'll act as kind of a quiz that we'll do when we see each other again, just to make sure you understand pronoun agreement and the other grammar rule, which will be ambiguous pronouns. Pronouns are a big deal on the SAT. So pronouns are a big deal on the SAT. So we'll start with pronoun agreement. So clearly pronouns are a substitute for a noun. You want to make sure the pronoun agrees with what it's referring to. But before we talk about that, the reason why we use pronouns is avoid repetition. Like you see the sentence in the first block, Jack woke up in the morning, Jack then went for a run, afterward Jack ate breakfast and went to work. When work ended, Jack joined his buddies at a local eatery for some good times. Sounds repetitive. So you can say Jack woke up in the morning and went for a run, afterwards he ate breakfast, when work ended he joined his buddies. So I could substitute the word Jack with he. Or here's another one. The jury members were interviewed by the media and gave their individual opinions. You want to use the word there because you're talking about members, that's plural. So there would be a plural pronoun, that would make sense, and it's possessive. But then we have a problem. This is disagreement. Gustavo practices yoga every morning in order to get better at it. It is singular because yoga is also singular. If you say Gustavo practices his karate moves every morning in order to get better at them, because you're talking about karate moves, that's plural, then use them. So make sure you know that the pronoun agrees with whatever it's referring to. So let's look at some isolated practice here. Determine if the pronoun agrees with the word it is replacing. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. Okay, fingerprints are smudged all over both the computer monitor and refrigerator, so we better clean them. Not it, because you're referring to the monitor and a refrigerator, referring to two things. The run and track team always wins races because he has. Or she has, but remember, that's singular. The new improved line detergent uses its. Even if they say new and improved, those are just adjectives. We're still talking about the detergent. It's got to be its. The team members widely celebrated the victory, but they, to talk about team members, that's plural. For the cyclists explore Ireland's western cliffs, every road leading out of the town of Clifton offers. Every is actually singular. Same thing with each. So it's also true for each. So when you say Clifton offers its own set of wonders. So just make sure you know what we're talking about. If we're talking about something that's a single entity, like every road, make sure you use the word its. Another good example, you wouldn't say my high school and their students, you say my high school and its students, because you don't one school. So just make sure that if it's a single entity, use its, or if something singular. If it's a plural entity, then of course use plural pronouns. So here's some practice. What might be a good idea is to pause the video. Of course, this requires a bit of diligence on your part. Pause the video, work on these problems, and then play the video and see if you get it right. Okay, so I trust you pause the video. Let's look at number one. We're talking about plastic. That's singular. That's got to be its. So that's got to be A. And typically you'll see these pronoun errors show up in the identifying error questions. They occasionally can show up in improving sentences, but you don't see any here. That the system has flaws is beyond dispute, but tell it one system. It's got to be its again. You know, B is cool. Nothing wrong with saying that. D is cool. The refusal of management to rise its. Now, sure, I'm sure there's more than one person in the management, but management's still one thing. That's a single entity. It's a singular noun. You gotta say its. While both disaster rescue workers and news reporters may face physical danger. The latter may control. Well, you're talking about news reporters. When you're talking about the latter, that's the most recent thing. News reporters is plural. Control their exposure risk. And this one's a bit weird. It's under pronoun agreement. It's more a pronoun shift. If you use word one, you need to use word one again. You gotta be consistent with your pronouns too. And there's cool because you're talking about people and observe. One must learn about its history and observe its people going about their ordinary activities. Because in this case, the there is referring to people. So the D is cool. A is cool because you have the subject-verb agreement. C is fine, but B is a problem.